Greetings, very rare individuals. Welcome to another Afro-Scot podcast. This is episode 15, and we've got a new topic today. It's called Why Africa is Great. And we're going to talk about the musical legend, human rights activist, artist, jazz composer, Fela Kuti. Now, who is Fela Kuti? Fela Kuti is a Nigerian artist. He studied at Trinity College of Music, the orchestra, and he mixed jazz with African high life and mixed in the orchestra as well to create a new sound called Afrobeat, which was later called Afrobeats with the S at the end. And his goal was to use music as a weapon to express the pain and problems going on in Nigeria inflicted upon the people by the corrupt government and military. And the reason why I like him is because he fully expressed his African identity, even though he grew up in an environment where you were told to behave European. And he expressed that really well in his music and the way he expressed himself.
England, I started to feel the awareness of having to be an African, because for the first time I came to England, I started to feel, oh wow, so these white people don't like us too much. This is my experience from having to rent rooms. I had so much. At that time, you read the newspapers in England, house for rent, no coloreds, no dogs, and all this. That annoyed me a lot, and not many students, so. At my student days in England, I started to be aware of having to be an African.
As you can see, him growing up in that environment and seeing that, you were hated for being African, he started to really think that, wow, so if the European don't like us, then why are we trying to be like them? And that really stayed with him for a long time. And Fela has made it very clear that he doesn't hate any European. What he wants is for Africans to be proud to be African, to show that they're African. And he showed that very clearly through the way he dressed, the way he talked in Pidgin. On stage he would have dancers dressed in African attire, traditional clothing. He would wear traditional clothing on stage too. The marks on his face, very African. His music still had that high life sound, and he wasn't afraid to express his opinion and be unpopular. Fela was jailed many times, but I liked one thing he said. He said he stayed in jail and he made sure to be comfortable being bored so he can continue saying what he was going to say, because nobody at the time was saying what he was saying. They weren't bold enough like Fela to say it. They weren't bold enough. But as he said it, he made younger people and even older people more comfortable to say it. And he was recognized a lot. In America he was well known in the crowds. The people loved him. To him he was like that pillar of strength that Africa needed. And he was, even to this day, he's called the Black President. So he's very powerful. And his music also expressed that. The direction he wanted to take with his music was to use the sound, as he saw music as spiritual, like he would say. He would use the sound to really connect with you deeply and emotionally. That's why when you listen to his music, you feel something. You really feel his pain, and not just his pain, the pain of the people, what they were going through. At one point he was beaten. His mother was thrown out from a building and she died through the injuries. And Fela also was jailed due to the songs he would make by the military, but he still continued because he knew he had a goal. As he said, music is a weapon.
Because by the time I started to play my music, I was telling the press at that time that African music was going to be the music of the future, even in Europe.
Yeah.
You see.
And that is very true, as he has inspired so many Africans like Burna Boy and a whole group of them to continue that legacy of his legacy of being strong in your own African identity and loving who you are and not allowing anybody to change that. And as I said, by knowing that and understanding that, you have a strong Afro-Scot identity.